Hello, I am seemownay on Instagram, Ravelry, and everywhere else. I'm so glad you found me. This is yet another episode of Yarn Talk, where I talk about the projects that I have been working on in the past month. And also today I want to show you my Stitches West haul. Yes, I went to Stitches West on Saturday and I spent a lot of money, and I want to show you what I purchased and hopefully what I want to use in the coming year, knitting wise and crocheting maybe and stuff like that. And I'm really trying very hard to look at the camera instead of myself on the screen so that it doesn't look like I'm spacing off. Let me know in the comments if that worked. Hello, thank you so much for watching. Let's start with the projects that I worked in the past month and then move on to my haul from Stitches West. So I will definitely put the minutes down below. So if you do not want to watch what I've been, my projects, then you can just skip ahead by clicking on the minutes. And if you do not want to see the haul, then that's fine too. You can just stop after I showed you my projects, or, well, in the unfortunate case that none of this interests you, I'm so glad you were here. So I lied to you last time. I told you that I was going to knit on something completely different than I did. The first thing that I worked on, I don't even remember in which order I worked on those. I think the first thing I worked on in the first full week of February was oops, that's not even it. Here it is. It's housed in this project bag. I made it myself. So let me show you again. This project bag with my own teeny tiny label. You should be able to read seemownay. I made it last summer, June, July, August, sometime then. I made one for my partner, my fiber share partner, and this one for myself. I love the house fabric. I purchased it on a friend date with my friend Tina before she moved away, and so that is very special to me. Here is what I worked on when I went to nationals, and I thought I would have lots and lots of time to work on it. I took the next two colors with me. These two are, so this one is the one that I'm currently working on, and this one is the one that will be next. I thought I would be able to get lots of knitting done, but then I volunteered, which is a really great thing, but I didn't get to knit as much as I had hoped. But I made it out of this color, and so I'm really happy that I finally moved on to the next color. And you can see there is already, this looks like a mistake, I don't know. There's already some kind of pattern detail going on with yarn overs and knit two togethers. I started back knitting in the fall of 2018. This I cast on, I think, I would have to check. I think it was last year, in the beginning of last year, maybe January or even December of 2018. And I was a very, very, very tight knitter. I have talked about this before. I had to frock a whole pair of socks because it was so tight, and also my gauge did not work anymore. In here you can actually, if you look really closely, you can see that, especially when you look at the stitch marker and the stitching, the gauge above and below, I think you can totally see that my gauge is looser. It's not as bad as it was with the socks that I frogged, but I changed the needle size down. I took it with me to nationals, bouldering nationals, that is, bouldering youth nationals to be exact. I had the, they were US 6 size needles on there, so I knit with them until I returned, and then I changed them out. But then I also put the project away, and I'm really curious to see how the gauge is changing with these needles. I'm not too concerned about this part here. It will be a bit different, but I think it is not noticeable, especially when it's blocked. So that was the progress on this. I was very hesitant to knit on this because it's a love-hate project, but when I started back on it, I had a lot of fun, even though it was just plain stockinette stitch. The next one, which is super exciting, is housed in this project bag that I also made myself. This embroidery patch, or the whole fabric piece, was made for me by a friend in Germany, and she gave it to me maybe 6 years ago, even probably 8 is closer. And I never used it, and I decided this is part of my using things to make me happy instead of like keeping them. I decided to make a project bag from this, and so I moved the socks in here because I'm keeping all of the stuff in here. So this is the contrasting yarn that I am using. Wow, this is, I hope nothing is going to come done. Here. I think, I should be more mindful of and read up on where I ended. So this is the first sock, and I turned the heel and worked on the, this is just a heel flap and gusset sock thing. At that time, maybe I should back up a little. When I started back up knitting, I found 2 at a time socks on circular needles, and I was like blown away, because I am notorious for second sock syndrome. I never finish my socks, and so I was really amazed by the fact that you could knit 2 socks at the same time. But I realized quickly that by the socks that I started then after that I'm still working on, that I should probably back up a little and find a pattern that I like, find a heel that I like, find just refamiliarize myself with how socks are actually knit before I'm dabbling in even more complicated stuff. And so when I cast on these are my Christmas cast on. I didn't even have the right size circular needle, so I decided to just cast them on DPNs. And before, when I knitted before, I used these wooden DPNs. They are short, they are 15 centimeters. I don't know how much that is in inches, but this was what I liked using. And so I cast on both socks at the same time, which is the same effect. I am knitting 2 socks at the same time, however, on 2 sets of DPNs. This worked well until I came to the heel, and then I noticed I purchased a longer set of wooden needles first. They were so flexible that I quickly changed to these. These are Zing from Knitter's Pride, and so I now have, I think, 2 of the shorter ones and 1 of the longer ones for the heel flap and gusset, if that's what I'm going to use in the future. I remember from being a teenager when I first started knitting that heel flap and gusset was really not the thing for me, but now I'm 43, so maybe this is actually how I'm going to knit my socks. I'm not it worked really well. So I might try some different instructions to find what works best for me, but we'll see. There's so many more socks to be knit. What is there to say? I started the decreasing this part here. Oh man, I hope you're a knitter and you know what I'm talking about. And I just changed back to the original color, and I think I could actually take this yarn off and just rip it, but I'm gonna wait until I'm all going back to this and knit some more rounds with the original self-strapping yarn. I am in love with self-strapping yarn, and guess what? I actually purchased another skein to continue and cast on the second that I am getting these off the needles. So I'm really eager to finish those. That's what's in here, and I'm really happy that I'm past the heel now and that the rest of the sock is just plain old tubular knitting, and then the cast off with the toe box. So yeah, I can't wait to get back to these, but I'm really happy with the progress that I have made on them. That was the next one, and then I only have this one to show you, and that was my kids were on school break last week, and I changed my work schedule to work opening shifts from 4:30 to 9 was my regular schedule all through week, Monday through Friday, and it was just the worst. I was tired all the time. We didn't plan anything. My kids are hooked on their electronics, and it was just a nightmare for myself. I think I went in there with the right intentions, but I didn't follow through, and that was mainly due to the fact that I was so tired. And then it spiraled down from there. I was so tired. I started to see a pattern. I wasn't able to motivate my kids, but I was tired. So I was super happy when they said no. We didn't do anything. I was hard on myself, and so I did not journal. I did not knit or crochet in this instance. I did not do anything that I wanted to do, which resulted in the fact that on Friday, Thursday, I usually do a selfie and reflect on the week with 3 facts about myself right now. And one fact was that, so I wrote about the fact that I'm such a loser, and then I realized that first of all, it was only Thursday. I could still turn around. I mean, Monday through Thursday, half of Thursday, were not how I wished they would have turned out, but I could turn Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I tried. I succeeded as best as I could. I tried to gain a different perspective. I gave myself grace for trying this experiment with changed work hours, and I admitted that it wasn't the right thing. So next break we will try something else, and yeah, if you want to know, let me tell you. We will plan the week. We will have times where they can be glued to their screens, and then we will do things together as a family. If my husband is off, he will join us. If not, it will be just the 4 of us. But I think then that will be a lot better, and I will just not take the whole week off, but take certain days where we will do planned activities, and so the other days they will be free. So yeah, I wanted to continue on my granny stripe blanket. The last time I had it out, I added 8 rows, which was so amazing. And this time I only added 1.5 row. Well, I added 1.5 rows. That's better than nothing. And the next time I'm taking it out, I will add more. So there's not much progress to show, but this just goes to show that you cannot force being creative if you're not feeling it. And so I guess I didn't. I'm glad I was able to pick it back up on Friday and start some more on it. I cannot wait to continue. And I actually also cannot wait to have some scraps from projects that I finished to add to this too. So yeah, that's that. And then this week I am going to start this shawl. Let me show you. I want to do the large size. So this is here. You can see it pretty good. Yeah. This is, I think, the large one. And I want to do the large one because I really like schlanket style shawls. I wanted to purchase yarn for this at Stitches West, but I actually went through my stash and I was able to pick the whole thing from my stash. So the colors that I'm going to start off with are these two. This one is Sweet Georgia, and this one is, I don't even know. I purchased it in a stash, and it has amazing speckles, and I think it's light enough to be a good contrast to this one. So when it's striped together, it will be nice and has a lot of contrast. There is a graphic in here. I think they're the same sections, but just different sizes. So the amount of rows unit is different. And it tells you which color it is on here and how the combinations, some of them are striped, some of them are plain, how they work. And so I just played around so that I would have always a good contrast on the stripes, which turned out to be the first one that I tried, so that's great. So I'm going to use these two, then this one. This is a green one. It's a Rowan yarn, and I already also used it in my Find Your Fate shawl. I don't really care that these yarns will turn up in similar projects. I plan to give things away if I can part with them. So it's fine, there's different recipients. Then this one is a Tweedy sock yarn. It's a commercial brand. I don't know if it's Schachenmeier, Regia, or what exactly it is. So I'm totally okay with combining hand-dyed artisan brands with commercial. The knitting is therapy for me. It brings me joy. It brings me joy with commercial yarns as well as indie dyed yarn. And when I'm combining those and make something new, that is all that matters to me. And then this is the last color, and I might not have enough of this. This is something that was given to me by my Fibershare friend. She dyed it herself. I really like the way it turned out. It was also in my what is it called? The Find Your Fate shawl. I have another yarn that I could use this, or I will combine them and then just have another color in there. I will see it when I get there. And then this is part of my Stitches West haul. I purchased this. This is Wow. Carl the Fog. This is a super amazing, I would consider this cool gray fluff from Seismic Yarns. And all the things that I purchased at Stitches West are local yarns, which was something that I wanted to make sure that the things I purchased were from around here. And I am going to hold it double with this one as well as the gray. Whenever it runs out, it runs out. If I have leftover, that's fine too. So it's my first time knitting with mohair. I can't wait to see how it works, and I'm going to cast on today. And then I'll just put all of those back in here, and I have some of the labels. So this is the Seismic yarn, and then this is the Rowan. I actually found it. I don't even know if this is the wrong way, because to me it is. And this is Sweet Georgia, and the colorway is Deep Cove. All right, so that's the last thing that I had to share project-wise. February is not done yet, but I'm going to call this the February Yarn Talk, and then I will film another one at the end of March and show you the progress I made on the cast on. So here is my Among Friends bag from Stitches West. I picked it up at the show on Saturday, and with the purchase of this bag you received 10% at participating booths. And I was actually, I purchased some at the booths and then some at other booths. I will tell you all about the dyers. Well, there's nothing much to tell. I will link them all definitely in the description box below. One was totally new to me, and I am absolutely in love with her dyeing style. I purchased, most of these are either local or BIPOC dyers, companies, artists, which I tried to do because I just think it's important to support people who are marginalized. Wow, I cannot talk. So that's what I did. I loved seeing all the things. I loved walking through the whole market, but these definitely bring me the most joy. So let me go through it in the way that how I purchased all of it. And I think I forgot one. It is over there. It's a stitch marker set. This one is the first. So after I picked up the bag, that was at Firebird Yarns booth. Then I went over to the Black Squirrel Berkeley. It is from Me Too Yarn. She is a dyer from Los Angeles, which is not that local, but it's definitely a Californian yarn. And the stark contrast between the dark and the bright colors just spoke to me. I have no idea what I'm going to use it for, but it is exactly my cup of tea. So I got it. Then I moved on, and then I purchased, I saw this on Yelly Knits Instagram, and I am looking for, I'm as I told you, I'm in love with self-striping yarn, so I was excited to find a new to me dyer, and she is also BIPOC, Luna Pearl yarn. She was in the A Needle Runs Through It booth, and these colors are neon-y. I think that's the reason why she actually started to dye yarn, if I read that correctly from her Instagram, the short things that I started following all the dyers that I found on at Stitches the minute I got home. But yeah, I think it doesn't even come out. I think this color right now is the best representation of how bright it actually is. Cannot wait to cast this on. I purchased it at the Needle Runs Through It booth. And I think she's somewhere at the East Coast. Luna Pearl Yarns. Then I moved on to the Dye Project and Nerdbird Makery, and wow, the colors of the Dye Project are amazing. I love them. I did not purchase anything because I didn't know what I wanted. I don't have any projects lined up that I needed yarn for, and I did not purchase. I wanted DK weight yarn to make something for nieces, hopefully, definitely nephews that are coming this year. We are impatiently waiting for one right now. But it is not superwash yarn, and since I don't know if my siblings will follow washing instructions, especially with a baby, I decided not to purchase non-superwash yarn for that. And then I purchased non-superwash yarn, but I think I purchased too little, so I needed to dig into my stash. I will talk about that later, and it's going to be a very long episode. And I purchased this t-shirt. It is L. I was afraid that L might be too snug because it's the female t-shirts, and I don't know what the what do you say, the companies that make these t-shirts that you print on stuff make, because I am definitely not double XL usually, but XL sometimes are too snug on my body, which if you translate this up, then 5XL is not a 5XL, which is not ideal, right? So I'm absolutely in love with this shirt, and I also purchased 2 more things from her. I can't even find them, so maybe I should take out all the things that are not related. I purchased the whole set of stickers. These are her makers. They are all different sizes, different colors, different abilities. I love that everyone is included in here, and that's why I purchased the whole pack, even though I am not a spinner yet, and that's okay. I'm super in love with all of them. Then I also purchased a pin, which is somewhere down here. Yes, this one. I couldn't really decide, and so I just decided to get this one because I loved the sentiment on them. It's a non-political statement, but I think it's still awesome. Alrighty, so then I went on to what is it called? Little Skein in the Big Wool. Anne and her amazing yarn and project bags, and I could have purchased almost every skein in that booth. I really like the way she dyes. The colors speak to me a lot. I like most of the patterns, but yeah, I already knew I had purchased that I'm on a spending spree, and I decided not to go for the thing that I really wanted, which was the 1,000 acre shawl kit. It was so pretty. I purchased her Stitches West 2020 colorway on House Blend number 2, and it is very, very, very luxurious feeling. It is a gray, but it's not, I would say it is not cool. It has reddish undertones and lots of speckles, and you can combine lots of colors with this. So these kinds of yarns seem to be my favorites, and this is the it's, let me check, 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, and 10% nylon. The colorway is called Hope is Never Silent, Stitches West 2020 show colorway. So this one, and then I could not walk away without this project bag. It's a book and yarn, book and sock. I can put it like this. I have never walked with while knitting, so I don't know if I would do this, but I liked the size and definitely love the imagery on there, so I decided I would get it for myself and treat myself. And inside is the stars. Here you go, and I'm absolutely in love. I don't have a project right now that I could fit in there, but again, I want to use all of the things that I have here as soon as possible. Then I moved on and walked on and walked on, and in the Lady Di booth I found Mitchell's Creations. I have never heard of her before. I think I remembered her because she had yarn in the Little Skein in the Big Wool booth, and I completely fell in love with all of her colors. And then I picked 2 of them. They are different bases, different yarn, missing the word. This is DK weight, yarn weights, different yarn weights, and this is fingering weight. I don't have a plan for this one. Let me come closer and here. I love these colors. This is perfect. This is what I feel like I am. This is me in a color. If it's not pink, this is me. I think it is a little bit more minty green. Yeah, maybe this. Yeah. Than it is on camera, and it's really hard to wiggle this in front of the camera without seeing what it looks like on the screen. Well, now I have some kind of hair in my mouth. This colorway is called Under the Willow Tree. It is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, 4-ply fingering weight, and it's the Lagniapi sock. She's also not from around here. That's her tag. She is from, I think, also the East Coast. So now I did not shop as local as I thought I did, but I shopped in local booths. I will definitely keep my eye out for updates from her, because she dyes colors the way I like. This is what I will be using to make something for the coming nieces, nephews. Nephew is coming, niece, I don't know. I don't know what my sister is expecting. My brother is expecting a baby boy any minute now. Doesn't this look just amazing? This is DK weight, ça c'est bon, 4-ply DK weight, 100% superwash merino wool, 231 yards, 100 gram. The colorway is Into the Woods, and I know that you should possibly wash this by hand, but since it is superwash merino wool, it will survive a wash in the washer if it's very delicate. And German washing machines usually are a lot more sophisticated than American washing machines. So I hope it will survive. I decided to switch from baby leg warmers to this double Dutch cardigan from Mina Phillips, who is the knitting expert on Ravelry and Instagram and on YouTube. She has a podcast as well. And I am in love with this cardigan. The yarn requirements are, for the size that I decided to make, well, for any size, it starts at sizes 0 to 6 months is 250 meters. This is yards, 231 yards. So maybe it would actually work. Haha. Yeah, it says 241 is the smallest size yards, 247 yards of DK weight yarn. So this is not enough for the smallest size. I want to make the size 6 to 12 months, which needs 320 meters, which this is not enough. So I looked into my stash and I found Drops Charisma, also 100% superwash. This is pure wool. It's not merino, but I think that would be fine. It has the same, and I think these would work. So I have this light one and I have this dark one. It's the same yarn weight, same. I don't have the band anymore for this one. And if I hold them together, I think it. Well, let me know what you think. I think they would work, but the only thing that I don't know yet is how to combine them to make them work and look nice. I was thinking about maybe so my first idea was marling, which I have never done before. Or not marling, I think that's just like striping the one in, but then I thought about using this for the collar. So I don't know how much of this I would need to leave over for the collar. And since it's a top-down sweater, I can't really, I don't know. The other thing that I could do is start with this at the top, knit all the way down, but I need to keep some for the arms, and then stripe this in like you would do with a Find Your Fate. So the bottom, so it isn't color blocked but striped in, and then do this for the bottom, and then use this for the collar, and then also use this for the sleeves at the bottom. I don't know. If you have an idea, let me know. I know that this was the only one that was there. Well, I didn't even think about looking for the second one, for another one, because I had baby leg warmers in my head instead of a cardigan. But I think this would work. Let me know what you think. And then I walked all the way back to the booth and found this in the Sincere Sheep booth. And this makes my nerdy heart so very happy. Let me see if this focuses in on. Yeah, can you see the stitch markers? This is make one right, make one left. So I could actually use them on this project that I'm going to start next week. They are made from, what are they called? From circuit board material. So the back side looks like this. They are white on the back, so you could just write with a permanent Sharpie what you need to do on there, and then just erase it with, what does it say, rubbing alcohol or nail polish remover, and I love them. This one is definitely a local artist. Localer. And yeah, I'm in love. She also had some from, like, this is make one. So she had slip, slip, snit, slip, slip, knit, and knit two together too as well. So maybe if these work well, I will get the other set as well. And then she has the original bit markers, which is bit numbers on them. So you could learn binary numbers. That would be awesome, right? Yes, and then I went all the way back to the booth where I started at, which was the Firebird Yarns booth, which displayed lots of seismic yarns, and I saw her fluffy stuff, I think that's what it's called, in the booth when I started my exploration, and went back to purchase it because I thought that it was the one color that worked best with the yarn, the gray that I am going to use for the Vertices Unite. And yes, I think, and the colorway I wanted to tell you, it is called Karl. The German word is Karl, the English word is Karl. Karl the Fog. It's a reference to the fog in San Francisco, and it is absolutely great. I think it represents the fog perfectly well, and so yeah, that is all I had to share. How do I say that? I noticed again that I totally need to reach out to real life people and find like-minded people, knitters, journalers, planners around in the area that I live in, because even though it is lovely, and now I'm looking at myself again because I'm so cute, because even though I really love talking to you and I love sharing on social media, and I love sharing a lot of things about myself on social media, having people in real life that you can share your hobbies with and maybe even make friends is something that I really need. It was great going, but I would have loved to go with my bestie or someone who could become my bestie, or just my knitting bestie would have been perfect. And I don't have anyone like that here. So that's my goal for 2020. Part of my goal for 2020 is find like-minded people, meet up with people in this area so I can start finding friends, real life friends. Another goal I have for this year, I spent $310 on all of the items that you saw, which is probably not a lot for a lot of people who went there. It is a lot for me. I didn't have to look, I don't know if it was okay. So we are not bankrupt, but it's definitely a lot of money that I spent and is not budgeted for. And so what I thought of, like, I didn't feel bad. I spent it with pleasure. But if this was like the major yarn expense for this year, and then maybe I'll get something along the lines to work with these yarns, for instance, and use up all of the yarn that I purchased Saturday, by Stitches 2021, then I feel like it would have, this was a great purchase, right? If everything is used up and put into projects that are being finished by sometime in the future, then the purchases were worth it, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. Wish me luck. How are you coming along? I haven't really talked about you, right? Tell me all the things. I would love to chat with you in the comments below. I will see you soon. Until then, goodbye.